Hey guys, what's up? It's just Connor here. I hope you're having an amazing day as per usual. Now, as you can see, we are in a bit of a different location yet again this week. I'm actually in Tasmania for another 14 days, and then I've decided I want to do another impromptu trip to Bali for another month. So you see some lifestyle content here and there from being in Bali. I'm actually going to be there the 4th of November to the 2nd of December. So that's really exciting. And I normally would be recording with my mirrorless camera and my Blue Yeti microphone. However, I've actually left my setup in Da Nang, Vietnam. So I got my friend Jordan bringing that from Vietnam to Bali when I see him next, which is in a couple of weeks. So you guys will have to bear with me while I record the weekly YouTube videos on my phone here using my Rode mic. So hopefully the quality is still good on your end and you enjoy the setup of the videos, right? Hopefully the view will help out a little bit. But without further ado, let's crack into the video as per usual. Now, this is an important one, which is this is a question that I get asked quite frequently because I say a lot of the times niching yourself down, especially when you're getting into the industry and you are a beginner, is something that is quite important because it makes it more effective for you and it makes things a lot more clear when you're trying to enter the industry. If you try to go for fitness and then you try to go through manifestation coaching and then you try to do this and then that and then Amazon coaching and then you try to get whatever offer you can get and just random niches, what this is going to do is going to disperse your attention. And when you have your attention focused on the one thing and it's very, very clear that you want that one thing, then it's much easier to attain it, right? And this is why we talk about very, very frequently inside the RSA of how important it is to roadmap out your goals and start actually planning a bit of a strategy and have clarity to the outcomes that you're trying to achieve. Because without the clarity on the outputs, we don't know what the inputs can be. And the inputs can be very of low quality and low frequency considering we don't know where we're heading. And this all plays back into having a niche and understanding that when you put yourself into that box, you're not going to be cornered into that niche forever. It's more or less for a strategic clarity and planning. And it's going to make your outreach processes much more effective entering into this industry. This goes for insider insights, knowledge about your client avatars and how they speak, their pains, their problems, everything. Niching down is really, really helpful thing to do when you are getting into the high ticket sales industry as a complete beginner. Now, what this video is titled and what it's more specifically about is how to pick a niche, right? How do you pick a niche now that you know you probably should pick one, right? It's recommended. Obviously, it's my opinion. It's not fact, but I think I've got more than a few results in this industry to know that that is something that is quite effective. So let's talk about how to pick a niche, right? When I'm looking to pick a niche, I'm looking for really 4, maybe 5 things at most, right? So stay with me here, stick to the end. This stuff is really, really important. First things first is the pain, right? Health, wealth, relationships. What type of pain are you solving for your customers and your clients and the people that you're selling to? If you are selling to someone who doesn't really have that much of a pain, well, then they're not going to really pay for it. Or it's not going to be the best offer for you to sell on to make the magic milestone of 10K a month, 15, 20, 25K plus per month, right? You have to figure out what are the problems that you are solving that are going to be important to... What are the problems that you're solving that, again, people are going to buy, right? If you're selling something that, again, is very low intent, right? Let's say, I can't think of the best example right now, but maybe just like teaching people how to cook, right? That's obviously not going to be the best high ticket program to sell ever, right? Versus something for, perhaps, weight loss for parents, that might be a big thing because the pain that essentially that you have as a parent when you have low energy and you maybe, you may not be around for your grandkid's wedding, right? Those are some pretty dire consequences, right? So we have to pick a niche, we have to pick an industry, a thing to sell that actually has some pain behind it, because without pain, it's going to be very difficult to sell, right? This falls under health, wealth, and relationships. Another good example of something that you could sell is something that's going to make people money. Because if it's going to make people money, well, then people are going to be more inclined to buy it, right? That you're solving a big problem, right? Therefore, more people will be willing to pay money to solve that problem. Simple, right? I guess variable number two, or criteria number two, is everything to do is growing, right? Is it a growing industry? Is it something that is continuing to trend up or continuing to trend down, right? For example, I'll give you two examples here. So crypto and like yield farming, for example, or just crypto in general. Crypto during a bull run is going to be very easy to sell because everybody wants to buy crypto, everyone wants to learn from crypto, everyone wants to make money in crypto when the bull run happens, right? When all the normies come in, when all the retail comes in, right? So if that's an ideal offer for you, then you need to map that out. For example, health, right? Is that growing? Yeah, it is, because again, people are always going to work on the health. It's never going to stop. Dating coaching, for example, that's not going to go anywhere. It's still going to be a problem for many, many people across the world. It's just like dating coaching is something that's going to continue to grow. Whereas there are things that are going perhaps backwards. There are industries that aren't necessarily increasing or on the trend upwards. Sometimes they're either staying the same, which is fine, or they're going backwards, which is a really big thing to take into account. The next criteria that I use to assess whether or not a niche is good enough for me to sell is money. Do they have money, right? Sounds very simple, but it's very, very important. If the prospect you're selling to doesn't have any money, well, it's going to be really hard to sell, and it's going to be hard to earn the commissions that you actually want. Let me give you an example of a bad example and a good example. A bad example probably would be, let's say, fitness for like just general day-to-day people, right? Sometimes, not all times, not this is just a general broad example. Sometimes a lot of the people who are trying to get into fitness are potentially going to be broke, right? So they may not have the money to buy it, right? Fitness is a bad example. I think potentially like coaching for manifestation coaches, or coaching for coaches who they don't make a lot of money, right? If the person doesn't make a lot of money, how much money are they going to pay you as a salesperson? How much commissions can you earn, right? Likely to be low. So assess whether or not the people that you are selling to actually have money, right? For example, if I was going to sell Amazon business coaching or Amazon done for you implementation, and it's $100,000 and I get 10% per sale, well, that's obviously a good looking niche, right? You need to make sure that the person that you're selling to actually has money. If it's really like, for example, potentially like agency owners, right? Unsuccessful agency owners, right? They probably don't have a lot of money, so it's going to be a lot harder to sell those people, right? Same thing goes. Now, the fourth and last main variable is going to be the audience, right? What's the TAM, right? What's the total addressable market size? Are they easily reachable? If they're not, well, then you might have some trouble growing and scaling your commissions, because again, if you're selling to an audience that is actually really, really small and doesn't really have any size to it or any growth to it or any expansion, well, then your offer is going to tap out at a certain level of market sophistication. So you will struggle to continue, building and growing the business, because the market might potentially tap out due to the TAM, the total addressable market size, which is a really, really important thing to take into account. Now, a bonus fifth thing to take into account here is value, right? How can you provide the most value to this segment of audience or this type of industry? Let's say, for example, you want to sell fitness and you were once an online PT. Beautiful, right? You lived and experienced through that client avatar's eyes, because if you're teaching and coaching on personal training and fitness and health, you yourself have probably gone through a transformation, and that's a big thing there as well. For example, if you used to be really bad at dating and now you're a killer stud and you're a massive Chad, right? And you're just selling dating coaching, you've gone through that transformation yourself. So you're going to be able to sell that a lot better because you're living through experience, you're a walking testimonial, and you're really going to want to help people, especially if the offer is really helping people and has great delivery, which it should if you have selected your offer correctly. But yeah, like if you've gone through that transformation yourself, like either through fitness and health or through dating coaching, whatever it really might be, uh, that will also be an added bonus when it comes to selecting your niche. Okay. So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Majority of you that watch my channel aren't currently subscribed. I put out 3 videos every single week. If you find the value, like down below, subscribe. And of course, if you are interested in looking at the RSA and getting into this space and getting a mentor that can actually help you do this properly, which to be honest, I've seen nobody else as experienced, as skilled, as demonstrated by the long sales call I have on my page, and as well as the other training that I have there as well. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. So if you're interested or if you're looking to do that, pop in your name in the form below, put in your application, send me a DM on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me there. And yeah, I guess I'll just see you guys in the next video.